Good morning. Thank you, Professor Johan Guru, for your invitation for this partenariat with the University of Aberta, Portugal. We are very happy to be here with this very important conference, international conference, to think as a world in the perspective of religion, security, political, very importantly, the economic is very interesting. Thank you. A salutation especial para o Professor Fernando Castro Henriques, de Portugal, is the responsible for this connection with Portugal and Romania of this university. Okay, my professor, very important in my university. And we go to present a question about memory and in articulation with some projects we planted in Portugal with my colleague Professor Susana Alves-Jesus. Vulnerability and potential of memory work, the right of memory, religion and human rights. No region of the past is innocent, and historians are no exception. To claim the right to memory is at bottom to call for justice. The process of the established memory is the document of all times as a place of the past more or less distant for us. Is underpinned by desires, actions, expectations, novel and petty motivation. The experience of glory and faith through desires to change the course of humanity or to keep it still. Memory is much about commitment as it about imagination, as much about desire and is about reason. Memory is a history in its raw form, not yet defined by the interpretation of historians. But this raw material of history already contains within itself a proposal of interpretation by those of how projected it. Only by reading the primary source can we peel back down the very core of the original message, how the layer of interpretation marked by the stereotypes and simply yet views. It follows that the first task of the historian, equipped with the critical tools to when mesh and identity test judgment of the past, something to dark, something too bright. History is a territory that is very susceptible and appealing to being taken over by agents of different ideological description and affected by individual and political oriented interests. In fact, at the epistemological level, the construction of the in the field of historical science is strongly marked by the historian older views of the time. Is of or mentality and the hierarchy of values and existential priorities. However, it's important to recognize the weakness and the society of the construction of historical knowledge as a form of critical prophylaxis. We also cannot fail to highlight the importance of the past as a fundamental and founding reserve of the life of human communities, as important of identity, a legacy of value, exemplarity, and the source of inspiration. It is this purpose that is the critical view of the primary source that the historian discovered in the archive is also so crucial, seeking the never lost sight of the aiming of presentations, a complex vision of the past.
So I will continue, first of all, I want to thank you this opportunity to be here, and first of all, I take the opportunity to my professor José Eduardo Franco, and also to Professor Dura, to being here in so pleasant conference and so well organized. So thank you all of you. Second, I'm sorry for my poor English, and I'm really sorry for my zero Romanian language. I would love to put it on Romanian, but I cannot do it. But it is quite similar in some words with our Portuguese language through Latin, so it's very nice to hear some words that are similar with our Portuguese, and it's an honor to be here for that too. So Professor Eduardo started to put to us the relation, the very important relation between history and the topic of the memory, and this relation is quite important to us these days also, because history is not only about the past, as all us know in this room, but it's very much about our present and, for instance, our future. And we will present here in some main lines two projects on these topics in relation: history, memory, and also human rights. And of course, these two projects are linking more or less with the topic of religion too. That is the main topic of this conference. So we present you two projects that are in progress. The first one is called Dignipedia Global, and Global Dignipedia, and the second one is called Mnemonic Reality. The first one it has a subtitle that is to a Global Dignipedia to systematize, deepen and defend human rights in context of globalization. And it is a project mainly on human rights, but in an interdisciplinary way, because we are from history and we see human rights directly related with history, and from history we can see other disciplines that are related to it. So we think human rights also in this interdisciplinary way, and not only a present topic that is only from our days, but human rights are an idea that developed through many centuries, and it is not a topic only from our days. It's a trans year topic. Dignipedia Global, it was a project funded by EA Grants, Active Citizens Fund. In this first phase, we are now in a second phase, and in this second phase we are not funded, but we are voluntarily also working on this project because academic fields, we academics sometimes and many times also work on a voluntary basis. But we are searching for more funding for this second phase because we all know that projects are made by people, and people need to be funded to do a consistent work. So this project consists in we've done an open access online platform that you can access in that QR code. We elaborated a global dictionary of human rights, not only with terms and with concepts that are related with our days, but we have, for example, concepts and figures and documents and institutions that are on the basis of this concept idea of human rights we have today, mainly from 1948. But we dig in past centuries, and we have figures from the 18th century that thought about the concept of rights. For example, we have institutions from that century and from others that were proto-activists and proto-thinkers on this topic we have today. And we have also an educational dictionary for human rights that were this dictionary was elaborated by students and children in the schools to these children in schools too, in relation with their teachers. These two dictionaries are online in open access for all of you. We have only these entries, for instance, in Portuguese in this first phase, but we really want to put it in another languages, for instance, English, of course, our Latin of our times. But we want to translate it in another languages also. We made some awareness raising activities for children and young people near schools, and we had training activities for teachers and researchers, and we had outreach campaigns, and we are also in the networks. So you can find us, for example, at Facebook and Instagram. But this is a in progress project. So this project, if we want and if we had that means, that funding also, we can continue all this project to reach to many people. And about the other project, we want to present it today, and it is directly related with the question of memory. It is called Mnemonic Reality, and this project in this subtitle, I'm sorry, it is called Investigating Memory Loss Impact on Reality and Reality's Impact on Memory Loss. And this project concerns on memory loss, and in main line, what are memory loss according to the Council of Europe memory laws enshrine state-approved interpretations of crucial historical events and promote certain narratives about the past in a main line. Of course, we can dig in, but in this presentation we cannot do that. But this project, what are the main objectives of this project? We need to ask these questions. How do memory laws translate into reality? How are they perceived by societies? What effects do they have? Are they mere symbolic legislation? How does reality influence the normative mnemonic framework? To what extent does the formative framework compensate shortcomings in reality? This project is being done by three centers of research with researchers from Portugal, from our Center for Global Studies, and in a conjoint group with a research center from University of Cologne in Germany, and another center for justice at Vilnius in Lithuania. So it is a conjoint project also, and what this project will have. We will have, and we do already have, a compendium that we invite you to see it in this QR code. Is a compendium with the legislation on Holocaust denial in the EU. So there is this compendium criminalizing Holocaust denial in the EU, compendium on 27 member states. Then we will have some qualitative interviews and some surveys, more quantitative, on 3 member states, namely Germany, Portugal, and Lithuania. Of course, it's the main countries that are leading this project. And we will have some awareness raising for young people in schools also to reach young people to have direct contact with these topics and with these complex topics that are related with our memory, with the issue of history, and in conclusion, with the defense of human rights and human dignity. So these are the 2 projects that in some ways pretend to relate these main topics also of this conference. And for instance, I was remembering that, for example, in Dignipedia Global, at the Global Dictionary, we have the entry on religions, for example, and how religions are directly related also with the topic of human rights, and how in some ways religion can be a way to promote human rights and to promote human dignity and to promote dialogue. And we know also that it sometimes promotes the opposite, but they are a great way to promote interdialogue and to promote human dignity in a more global way. So these 2 projects are relating these topics: history, memory, human rights, and they can be a beginning to discussion on these topics also. And Thank you so much. I think we are on time.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your attention. I don't know if Professor Eduardo want to say something. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for being